Dominik Mysterio walks out on the Judgment Day on WWE Raw. Dominik Mysterio's growing differences with the Judgment Day have reached a boiling point, and the tension between him and his teammates could no longer be ignored. What once seemed like a united and unstoppable faction is now unraveling piece by piece. With Dominik at the center of the storm, his decision to walk out on the group during WWE Raw only further highlighted just how fractured their alliance has become. For weeks, there have been clear signs that all was not well within the Judgment Day. The chemistry that once defined the group, made up of Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez alongside Dominik, has started to show cracks. The foundation of loyalty and support is beginning to crumble under the weight of mistrust and questionable decisions. Dominik has often been portrayed as the youngest and most vulnerable member of the group, but recently, he has been making moves that suggest he is no longer content with simply following orders. Instead, he seems to be seeking independence, even if it means turning his back on those who once had his back. One of the most recent flashpoints came when Dominik was spotted backstage talking to El Grande Americano. The masked superstar is known for his unpredictable tactics, and his sudden appearance in WWE stirred curiosity. When Dominik was seen chatting with him, his Judgment Day teammates were immediately suspicious. They questioned his motives, worried that he might be plotting something that could harm the group. Their doubts were not unfounded, as Americano played a pivotal role later in the night. During Dominik's Intercontinental Championship match against AJ Styles in Paris, Americano intervened. Just as Styles was about to land his devastating phenomenal forearm, Americano distracted him before striking with his loaded mask. The interference allowed Dominik to retain his championship, but also deepened the divide between him and his supposed family in the Judgment Day. From the perspective of Finn Balor and the others, Dominik's alliance with Americano was a betrayal of trust. The Judgment Day prided itself on unity and always having each other's backs. By seeking help from an outsider, especially one as enigmatic as Americano, Dominik appeared to be undermining the very essence of what kept them strong. Yet, from Dominik's point of view, the situation was not so simple. He saw Americano's involvement as a necessity, especially after his teammates had been banned from ringside the previous week in Paris. To him, the choice wasn't about betrayal. It was about survival. He needed an edge, and Americano provided it. Backstage at the Judgment Day clubhouse, the tension came to a head. Dominik entered the room while his teammates were already engaged in a heated conversation. Finn Balor wasted no time in confronting him, demanding answers about what was really going on with Americano. The Intercontinental Champion tried to brush it off, dismissing the concerns by saying it was merely a lucha thing, implying that his teammates wouldn't understand the cultural and stylistic connection he shared with the masked wrestler. But the others weren't buying it. They pressed further, and Dominik's patience quickly wore thin. Feeling cornered and misunderstood, Dominik lashed out. He went on a tirade, frustrated that his every move was being scrutinized. In his mind, he had done nothing wrong. He reminded his teammates that he was only forced to look elsewhere for help because they had been barred from ringside during one of the most crucial matches of his career. He made it clear that he wanted support, not suspicion. His pleas, however, fell on deaf ears. Instead of sympathy, he was met with more questioning and doubt. It was at this moment that Dominik made his boldest move yet. Rather than continue to argue with his so-called family, he stormed out, leaving them behind. The image of Dominik walking away was symbolic of what has been building for months. The bond that once seemed unbreakable now feels fragile, and the possibility of betrayal is looming larger than ever. Whether Dominik will be the one to officially turn on the Judgment Day, or whether the group will cast him out remains to be seen. Either way, the damage has already been done. The brewing conflict has left fans speculating about what the future holds for both Dominik and the Judgment Day. Some believe that Dominik is destined to forge his own path, breaking free from the faction that helped elevate him in WWE. Others think his story is far from over with the group, and that his actions might eventually lead to a dramatic betrayal angle where either he or one of his teammates stabs the other in the back. WWE has a long history of using faction drama to craft some of its most compelling storylines, and this current tension could be the start of something explosive. Dominik's current feud with El Hijo del Vikingo only adds another layer to the drama. As he prepares for their upcoming clash at World Collide, Dominik is under immense pressure. He not only has to defend his championship against one of the most innovative and daring luchadors in the world, but he also has to deal with the turmoil within his own faction. His request for help from the Judgment Day was a plea for unity in the face of a dangerous opponent. But instead of rallying behind him, they questioned his loyalty. Now, Dominik is more isolated than ever. If he loses his match against Vikingo, it could further strain his relationship with his teammates. But if he wins, especially with help from Americano or another outsider, it could be the final straw that leads to his expulsion from the group. The dynamics of the Judgment Day have always been intriguing, but Dominik's growing independence is pushing the story into new territory. When he first joined the group, many saw him as the weakest link, relying heavily on the backing of his powerful allies. Over time, however, he has grown more confident, more daring, and more willing to take risks on his own. His championship reign is proof that he has what it takes to succeed, but his methods are raising eyebrows. Aligning with Americano might have been a smart tactical move, but in the world of WWE, perception is everything. To his teammates, it looked like betrayal, and that perception could be enough to shatter their bond for good. As things stand, Dominik's future with the Judgment Day hangs in the balance. His outburst backstage showed that he is no longer willing to tolerate being treated like the least important member of the group. He wants respect, he wants support, and most importantly, he wants control over his own destiny. Whether the Judgment Day is willing to give him that remains doubtful. And so, the stage is set for a dramatic confrontation, one that could change the course of Dominik's career and the fate of the faction forever. For the fans watching at home, the drama unfolding is both thrilling and unpredictable. The Judgment Day, once seen as a dominant and united front, is now vulnerable. Dominik's rebellion has cracked open a story that could lead to betrayal, heartbreak, and possibly the complete downfall of the faction. On the other hand, it could also lead to a surprising reconciliation if cooler heads prevail. But in the volatile world of WWE, peace rarely lasts long. Dominik Mysterio's decision to walk out was more than just a moment of frustration. It was a statement. It was a declaration that he refuses to be doubted, dismissed, or controlled. Dominik's rebellion has cracked open a story that could lead to betrayal, heartbreak, and possibly the complete downfall of the faction. On the other hand, it could also lead to a surprising reconciliation if cooler heads prevail. But in the volatile world of WWE, peace rarely lasts long. Dominik Mysterio's decision to walk out was more than just a moment of frustration. It was a statement. It was a declaration that he refuses to be doubted, dismissed, or controlled.